everyone, welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about Kill the Boy Band by Goldy Moldavsky.
Which we are reading. It's kind of old. It's about 4 years old, which I had already...
2016?
I think so. Which I had actually listened to the audiobook back then, and then we listened to it because somebody on a comment that we couldn't find on our vlog.
So shout out to you, though.
Yes.
Let us know.
Suggested us reading it. So if anybody else has anything else they want us to talk about, suggest it and we will go.
So yeah, it wasn't an arc this time around. And I hadn't read it before. And so basically this is about, so in this world there are the Ruperts, who are basically their world's version of One Direction. And the story is about a group of 4 girls who are the kind of top fans. The main character is unnamed.
They think they're the top fans. I'm sure every girl thinks they're the top fans.
I feel like everybody says that. Like,
right.
And I feel like you kind of know that when they say that they're the top fans, like, well, everybody says that. And, you know, they're the type of people, and they're called struppers, by the way, like, which is so random. Like, that's the name.
In the audiobook, it sounded like they were saying strippers.
It does sound like they were saying strippers, but it was kind of tweaked enough that it was struppers. Like, it was very close. But anyway, like, so that's the name for this fandom. And Isabel, Aaron, and Apple, and the main character have all gone to different events. To just catch a brief glance of the Ruperts. This time, they found out where the Ruperts are staying for their Thanksgiving show, and so they're staying at the same hotel in hopes to find them. But what ends up happening is they did find one, and Apple basically plowed into him, knocked him out, and so they've tied him up in their hotel room, and they're holding him captive. And as they hold him captive, a variety of things happen, and the main character is freaking out because she doesn't want to get in trouble for it, but it is a Rupert, and she does kind of want to know where her beloved Rupert, because of course each one of them has a Rupert that they like best, and so she wants to get the intel on finding her favorite Rupert, and then things turn deadly, and so the mystery thickens, because I don't want to give anything away.
No.
So and I think that was basic enough to cover all of the high plot things.
So, I will be quite honest. I really did not enjoy this book the first time. I liked it slightly better the second time, but not by much. I don't think it holds up well. I think the world has changed a lot in 4 years, and things that were jokes 4 years ago, you don't get away with now.
I think if I can pretend like some of the stuff doesn't exist, like as a story it's funny and it's interesting, if I'm not like focusing on the things that don't work. So the idea of these girls being obsessed with this boy band, and then like, because honestly, and then them like kidnapping him, like that's funny, right? So like there's entirely possible, like some of these fandoms, right? No, there's a movie version of Josie and the Pussycats that came out a long time ago, and it was like a complete bomb. But it's all about like corporate greed and like about like sponsorship, and in retrospect, it's really funny. And I feel like this has that. Like there was the one Rupert who couldn't tell time, and so he had this watch that would tell you what time it was, and he's like, it took days, and the main character's like, he could have learned how to tell time in that amount of time. Well, and then I think it really gets to the fact that they're just boys. Like there's the one part that one of the Ruperts has the tattoo "I do" like on his arm somewhere, and so like the girl has like created these fan fictions on what "I do" means, and you know, she's thinking that it means is like take active spirit and all this kind of stuff, and so she can ask him about it, and he is basically like, oh, well, the needle hurt too bad, I stopped. It was supposed to say something really odd. So and it was supposed to say something like super dorky that didn't work for her. Like she built him up so much in her mind that they would be perfect together, but like really they weren't compatible. So it's kind of like as a commentary on society in that aspect in celebrity, it was funny. My problem with it is, first of all, the murder resolution is super obvious. Yeah, you know what? But I was okay with that because I feel like a lot of these murder mysteries that we read, like it is obvious who did it. But I was super annoyed at that point. So like by that, and it wasn't as bad the second reading, but the first time I listened to it, like it's in my Goodreads review, and I'm like, and come on. But also like the girl that's a larger size is the dumb girl.
and keeps causing all of these problems.
It definitely plays into caricatures.
Right.
For all of them.
And then you have, like, the one Rupert who turns out to be homosexual is evil and catty, and, like, even his lover was selling secrets. And I'm like...
Does she get away with that, though, because all of the Ruperts kind of sucked in their own individual way, or no?
I don't know. It doesn't feel right. And, like, you were pointing out about there's a lot of men talking down to girls.
There's a lot of mansplaining in this book, and it drives me nuts, because the only people that comment on how much good that they could do with all of the energy that they put into following the Ruperts to, like, changing the world, like, all of the men are saying that. At no point is there a strong female character that says this. In fact, all of the female characters aren't very strong at all.
No. Plus, there is this idea in one of the characters' backstories of, like, a 15-year-old girl having sex with at least an 18, 19-year-old man. It's not legal, and I feel like...
Well, and he takes pictures of her.
Right.
And then we're still
against her consent.
And then we're still kind of, like... We're still supposed to kind of... The Ruperts are still supposed to be kind of lovable, I think.
Sympathetic.
Like, they're still... There it is. They're still supposed to be sympathetic. But, like, after hearing that, like, I just...
Shut down a little bit.
No. Like, that is not acceptable.
But I feel like 4 years ago, we didn't have discussions about fat shaming. We didn't have discussions about consent. We didn't have discussions about toxic masculinity, which was another thing with some of the ideas of the Ruperts. And if it was done now, I think that it would...
It would have to be a very different book.
Right. And I think that those characters, like, those wouldn't just be who they were. They would be, like, outlined as a negative, whereas this was like, well, that's just who we are.
I think there would have to be a longer character arc to it.
Right.
Like, you could start here, but you can't end here.
Right.
But, I mean, overall, the concept was fun and interesting. I mean, it didn't, like, it wasn't a struggle to read.
Well, but the audiobook reader is really good.
And actually, yeah, shout out to that audiobook reader. She was phenomenal. And I think that is also part of why I enjoyed this book.
Yes. So we should rate it.
Okay, so our rating scale starts with 5 unicorns. It goes down to 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it's spectacular, then it doesn't get a horn, and it's therefore a horse. Where are you?
So originally, back in 2016, I rated it a 2. I'm kind of at a 2.5, but I think I'm going to stick with my 2.
See, and I feel weird, but I want to give it a 3. Like,
I mean, if that's what you feel.
I was laughing with it. I like the concept. Like, in general, I think I'm at a 3. It was problematic. And everything that you described, everything that I described, problematic.
And honestly, I might have been at a 3 if I hadn't read it 4 years ago, and it's been in the back of my head for the last 4 years that I did not care for this book.
That's fair. So that's just where we are.
That's where we are.
Let us know what your comments are. Like, have you read this book? What do you think?
Yep.
Where do you fall on this? Does it stand the test of time? Do you think the things that we listed as problematic, are they problematic, or is there more problematic things that we didn't even see?
Did I miss something?
Yeah, it's entirely possible I missed something.
Yes.
So
we'll see you around.
See ya.
Bye.